Offset dude. I ain't gonna leave him out. You wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive. You know what I mean? So don't never put me in no position where, you know, I have to defend myself.
How are you going to sit there and say it is that somebody wasn't present in somebody's life when all three of them in the Migos group grew up together? Something about that just by itself just doesn't, it's not sitting right with me. And I just do not think it's your place to go ahead and talk about it. Yeah. All right, y'all. So let's start this up with the reactions, man. So I came across this video and I'm kind of glad it is like this came up because I genuinely don't know. So this is going to be about the Migos, you know what I mean? Love the group and I really like their music from once it is like I first started to hear about them and started going being mainstream. But they got some fire songs together. So it just is such a disappointment that they are now like broken up and like fighting and like going back and forth with each other and everything like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's start this video up. Why the Migos broke up. Let's get into this damn video, y'all. Let's do it.
The Migos dominated the rap game for years and changed the way everybody wanted to sound. Takeoff's tragic murder last year meant the trio would sadly never perform together again. But rumors were flying that they had split up even before his death. A lot of fans believe Cardi B was actually the reason for the breakup. But today we're breaking down all the rumors about why the biggest rap crew in the game ended up falling apart.
Like, I don't want to put blame on Cardi B like that, but you know, and I love Cardi B. That's you said fuck Cardi B. Nah, you're wildin'. Like that, you know what I'm saying? I've been following Cardi B since like Vine days, since it is like, you know, well, like before she got the teeth done and she was still like stripping before she got into like love and hip hop, all that. Like I always thought it is like she was going to shine. And I do like her and Offset together. Like they work with each other, regardless of the fact that people be like, oh yeah, like he cheated and all this other shit and whatnot. He a dog and all that. They have their own opinions of him. You said you knew Cardi B before she made music? She always was. I mean, to be fair, she kind of always was making music. Like, it was always kind of her genre, but also being funny and hilarious was her thing. And what I like about with her is even with where it is that she is right now, she still is somewhat herself. Now what I don't like is just the constant like fan bases going back and forth, either attacking her or like or Megan Thee Stallion. I'm just not necessarily too keen on that part. But let's continue with the video.
Let's get right into it. Most rap fans didn't hear about the Migos until they hit the mainstream in 2013 with the track Versace.
Facts.
But their history together goes way further back than that. Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset grew up together in Atlanta and have real family ties. They started the crew back in 2008 and dropped their first mixtape in 2011. They followed it up with another project in 2012, and that's when they started getting some real buzz in the city. Back then, they didn't have access to a real studio. All of their early tracks were recorded in Quavo's mom's basement, but everything changed when they linked up with Coach K. The Migos hit the charts for the first time in 2013 with their track Versace, and Drake got them even more attention after he remixed it. By the time they dropped their YRN mixtape later that year, everyone had the Migos on their radar. 2014 was an even bigger year for them, but 2015 is when the Migos really started taking over the game. They dropped the track Look at My Dab, and you couldn't go anywhere without hearing the song and seeing people dab.
Facts.
Haters said the Migos were just on a hot wave that was gonna die out soon, but in 2016, they went #1 with the track Bad and Bougie and proved the haters wrong. They spent the rest of the decade topping the charts, making headlines, and trendsetting for the culture. And in 2019, they made history after tying the Beatles for having the most tracks on the Billboard Hot 100 at once. A lot of rap crews start falling apart after they blow up. Sometimes people think they deserve more credit than others, there's usually money issues, and sometimes it's just petty drama that causes the split. But the Migos seem different than the rest. They were real family who had been tight before rap, and fans never thought that the group would change. But in early 2022, reports started going around that they were done. The first sign that there was an issue came out last May after Quavo and Takeoff announced a project as a duo called Unconfused. The very next day, Cardi B and Offset both unfollowed Takeoff and Quavo on IG, but nobody close to the situation was saying anything. The Migos were all scheduled to perform together a month later at the Governor's Ball, but they ended up dropping out of the show. Reps at the time said it was because Quavo was shooting the movie and couldn't make it, but fans knew there was something going on behind the scenes. Offset was busy dropping solo tracks while Quavo and Take promoted the new project, and all three of them were dodging questions about the breakup rumors. At the same time, Offset was beefing with the Migos label Quality Control Records over the rights to his own music. Everyone was trying to figure out exactly what was happening. And then just a few weeks before Takeoff's death, Quavo and him went on the Big Facts podcast and gave out a little bit of info.
We want to see our career as a duo, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we just came from a loyal family, you know what I'm saying? Shit that's supposed to stick together. And, you know, sometimes when shit don't work out, it ain't meant to be.
He also made references to standing on loyalty, which made everyone think Offset had crossed him somehow. It seemed like Quavo.
Now, I did hear in the lines of between these two, it was alleged. I had to say alleged because we don't necessarily know that information, but like, you know, Offset was talking with Sweetie and talking, you know, just it's stuff that's like that, and then Cardi B kind of knew about it as well. So now there was an exchange between those two women, but ultimately it ended up with them becoming like, oh, like he betrayed them in some form of way. I did hear something that's like that. Quavo did mention that in the song after him and Sweetie did break up. So that was circulating quite a bit. But here's the thing when it comes down to like, when you're family and you're also doing business, it is very sticky. This is a very, very, very sticky thing to like put those two together and to correlate, because ideally it is like sometimes you don't know how to separate those two entities, and you kind of just go based off of like, all right, well, I'm doing business with this person, this and this, and when things fall out, you publicly see the exchange of something is not right, like the essence of the aura or just the way how it is, like their body language is, it just is thrown off in some form of way, and then people pay attention to that. Yo, Babs with the donation of $59 for the Lupus Foundation. Wow. Yo, Babs, thank you so much for that. That's crazy. We reached up to our $100 goal for the Lupus Foundation. I appreciate you, gang. What's up, Babs? All right, big W's, big ass fucking W's in the chat, please. He said, doing business with your loved ones is a very slippery slope. It is. It's very hard to try to put like the business and business relationship and a personal relationship together. It never works. Like, it's always going to be something that's going to be like a feud in some form of way. And you do need to be very careful of those things. You know what I mean? It never goes hand in hand. So it sucks. That does suck. It is like, you know, anything to help. Appreciate you, again. Thank you. This does suck. So let's just continue.
Quavo and Offset had some personal beef going on, but Takeoff said,
you know what I'm saying, we pray so only time will tell, but you know, we always family now. Ain't nothing gonna change.
According to rumors, Cardi B was somehow involved with the breakup. Some fans thought she caused the beef between Quavo and Offset, but it turns out that it might have been another woman who got in the middle of them. Back in 2018, Quavo started dating a rapper/singer named Sweetie. They were together for years and looked like they might get married. But then in 2021, they split up, and that's where the beef between Offset and Quavo might have started. 1 month before Takeoff was killed, Sweetie went on Young Miami's Carisha Please podcast and talks about their relationship. Then Quavo and Takeoff dropped the track Messy, and Quavo dropped a bomb with the line, I said, Carisha please, cause she too messy. My dog behind my back, but I ain't stressing. You wanted the gang, you should've just said it. We would've blessed it. Now shit got messy. Fans immediately linked the bar to Offset, who a lot of people thought cheated on Cardi B with Quavo's girl. Offset has been known to step out on Cardi before, and they even split up for a while because of his cheating. Hooking up with random women is one thing, but getting with Sweetie would have been a crazy low move for Offset. There's no evidence to back the rumor up, but a rap crew called Travis Porter said in October that the Migos broke up over a
The Migos, like, they broke up, man. What y'all think about that Migos shit? Wait, what he
They
said?
said it was over. What?
It's not clear if Travis Porter actually knew something that fans didn't, or if they were just guessing. But right when the situation looked like it was gonna break wide open, Takeoff was tragically murdered in Houston while hanging out with Quavo and the Prince family. They were all chilling at a bowling alley after a party back in November, and at some point, shots started going off and Takeoff was caught in the crossfire. The police booked a dude named Patrick Clark for killing him, but it's still not clear how everything went down that night. Takeoff's death made it even more clear that whatever went down between Quavo and Offset was serious though, and instead of squashing the beef in Takeoff's honor, it's only gotten worse since he died.
I will say it did get worse because now it's like let's put in this aspect that like people perceive death. Yo, what's up, Jimmy? People perceive death in different ways. So you have Quavo that was more of like publicly distraught. Yeah, they like I heard they did get into a fist fight. Quavo was like physically distraught, like out in public outings and stuff like that. And Offset was more more like not so open like outwards, but like that doesn't mean it is like he wasn't having those feelings and those sentiments because Cardi B has also stated, at home privately and stuff like that. Is like, listen, they're not like a charity case or anything like that. Privately at home, to get him to like crack a smile or just to not be upset and everything like that, like that death takes a toll onto a lot of people. So it's unfortunate. This is unfortunate.
There are a lot of rumors that the Prince family was involved with Takeoff's death somehow. Quavo and him were chilling with Jay Prince Jr. when the shooting went down, and someone in the Prince crew allegedly set the whole situation off. Back in February, the Prince family went on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast to talk about the situation. And at the end of the interview, Jay Prince sent a shot at Offset and made the situation even more confusing.
This Offset dude, I ain't gonna leave him out. You wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive, you know what I mean? So don't never put me in no position where, I have to defend myself. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be healthy for you.
How are you going to sit there and say it is that somebody wasn't present in somebody's life when all three of them in the Migos group grew up together? Something about that just by itself just doesn't, it's not sitting right with me. And I just do not think it's your place to go ahead and talk about it. I'm sorry, but it's, you said they do anything for clout? Yeah, so Jay Prince is from the record label. Jay Prince is kind of like who it is that got them to be onto the mainstream platform as it is now. But I still kind of think that's a little bit weird to say that exchange. It was just like, gang, like you starting beef for like no reason. Like that's weird.
Offset clapped back later, but not before he allegedly got into a fist fight with Quavo backstage at the Grammys. Quavo performed a tribute that night for Takeoff by himself, and he allegedly blocked Offset from being on stage with him. The situation got so heated that they apparently got into a fight about it before Quavo performed, and the video leaked where Cardi B can be heard yelling,
"Both of y'all wrong! Both of y'all! This is not right!
Offset later tweeted that the story was cap, but obviously his relationship with Quavo isn't getting any better. Offset also took a shot at Jay Prince on IG and said,
"Y'all speaking on my real brother. Y'all know how me and my brother rock. You trying to clear your face. This your fifth interview."
Then Jay Prince came back and made a ton of wild accusations against Offset.
See, boy, you acting like you a part of a family that don't really with you because you a snake. Remember we talked when you got your ass whooped in Atlanta?
Listen, I'm sorry, but like you touching on a dangerous territory with this. Now, Jay Prince, I'm not liking the way how it is you moving. Like regardless if this is true or not to what it is that's being said, I don't like your style. I don't like your style because you just out here just talking and you doing way too many interviews talking about this one nigga. And may I add, it is like I will say it is that like most of the character, each of these individuals within the Migos group was part of the streets in some form of way. But you talking down on me and you saying some shit it is that like that is out of term or out of character, or we just like nigga, we don't know what the fuck you talking about. I don't blame I don't condone this, but I don't blame Offset for kind of just like seeing him up in the streets because that's how it is. Like you keep mentioning my name and keep talking about me. And you doing all these different interviews and stuff like that. Like clearly you got something against me. So now what's up? So I don't blame him if he was to do that. He said, nigga gonna keep chatting to a camera box until end up in one. Right. So that's all like you kind of touching on territory that you have no placing in. So this looks wrong on his part for even speaking on Offset like that.
You forgot? Remember when you called up on me and I came to LA and met with you because
The way that I see it, regardless of how I see my family, don't you dare talk down on my fucking family, bitch. Right, exactly. Just don't talk down on somebody's family and you not a part of that family within itself because you just have no placing in it. It looks very off-putting to have that much of opinions over somebody and then it's like, oh, remember that time it is that you got your ass whooped out in Atlanta. Just that by itself is enough to where it is like, all right, I'm pulling up because like at this rate, is you disrespecting me. Like I'm just no, no. You looking to disrespect me, and I don't like that shit.
you was nervous about your wife performing because she had them issues about using the word flute.
Cardi, Offset, and Whack 100 all call cap on what Jay Prince said, but Quavo didn't speak up for Offset at all. Some people claim that Quavo is afraid of the Prince family because of how much power they have in the game, but others say his beef with Offset is just so serious that he's not going to step in and help him out no matter what's going down. Quavo has dropped a few solo singles since Takeoff's death, and on the track Greatness, he pretty much confirmed that the Migos are over for good. He said, came in, swept the game like a storm with the motherfucking flow. Take did that, so don't ask about the group. He gone, we gone, young. It can't come back. Then he allegedly took a shot at Offset with the line, I can't kick it with the fake, and I won't sleep with the snakes. I'd rather eat with the greats. I wanted peace, but I can't. I gotta get something straight. Fans still don't have the full story, but Quavo isn't gonna be speaking on the situation for a while at least. Last week he tweeted that he's focused 100% on his tribute album for Takeoff and that he's not doing any more interviews until it's done. Last month, Offset and Quavo were both spotted at an Atlanta Hawks game in the front row, but they weren't sitting anywhere near each other. Unfortunately, it seems like whatever caused the Migos to break up is still causing issues. And at this point, Quavo and Offset obviously aren't looking to squash it. The Migos will go down as one of the most legendary crews in rap history, but it's tragic how everything ended up. Maybe Offset and Quavo will eventually sort everything out for Takeoff and their family's sake. But until then, tap in for updates because the real story behind their beef could break any day. Rest in peace to Takeoff.
White rappers are usually late.
Oh, hold on. It's so unfortunate, man, because the Migos has just taken over within 2015 and beyond. So it sucks to see that, to see how things had transpired. I hope and I pray it is that like them two, like Quavo and Offset, for the sake of the fact of like, you know, with what happened. But I hope privately that they can able to come together and, you know, chop it up at least. You know what's up, Skull? But hey, listen, you know what? W video.